Nintendo's Zelda timeline kinda sucks and frankly doesn't make any fucking sense. But I, Blood of God, Body of Thor, will fix this timeline. I am indisputable and have never been wrong. If you think otherwise, then you will be turned to stone by my loyal fans. Now, I will rewrite time and space for the sissy in green, and sometimes blue. The timeline supposedly starts with the events of Skyward Sword and the first reincarnations of the hero and the goddess, but real ones know that the timeline starts with the prequel comic included with the Hyrule Historia. Then Skyward Sword begins. Basically, Link forges the Master Sword with the help of the second best Zelda companion and gets the Triforce so they can destroy Demise. But before Demise dies, he places a curse on those who have the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero, and thus the cycle begins. Also, Groose gets it on with someone and creates the race known as the Gerudo. It's canon, because I said so! Don't question me! Next up is the Minish Cap. In this game, the evil spirit known as Vati finds all of the Minish and stomps on them like little bugs, like I will do to all of you one day. Anyways, Link gets really mad that all the little bug people are dead and murders Vati. This game actually splits off into two possible points. In one, Vati comes back, so Link calls his 4 dumb little friends and they beat him senseless and lock his ass up inside of a sword. In the other, a new Link is born, but there's no reincarnation of evil, so this Link doesn't really do anything except train with a crossbow. He accidentally shoots himself and dies, but in another timeline, he gives up the crossbow and it connects to Twilight Princess. Now for the best Zelda game! Remember, I'm never wrong. This game is Ocarina of Time. Link travels through time, gets swole, seals away Ganon, gets taught from Zelda, and then he's sent back in time to live out the childhood he lost. And Navi's stupid ass leaves. So the young hero reports Ganon to the proper authorities and sets out to find Navi, and he gets lost and dies. While he's out fucking dying, Ganondorf is getting put on trial and he receives the death penalty. But Ganondorf doesn't like that. And he breaks free, murders one of the sages, and keeps the sword they tried to execute him with, which cements him as the coldest motherfucker in all of Hyrule. The sages shit their pants and send Ganondorf to the Cum Dimension where he becomes an orb and gives some dipshit power. This dipshit, also known as Zant, tells Midna, the Twilight Princess, to lick his nuts and turns her into an imp so he can take over the Twilight Realm and begin his conquest of Hyrule. A new Link is born and lives his entire life as a farm boy, and Zant takes over and kills everyone. And that's where this segment of the timeline ends. Or does it? You're not gonna believe this, but 4 Swords happens again! But since there's no Vati, the 4 new Links all conjoin and become the human centipede instead. Now, what about the world the hero of time saved and left behind? Well, Ganondorf comes back and the goddesses decide to fucking troll Hyrule, and now we're in a new era, where everyone lives their lives on the water. This new Link decides, you know what? No more evil! And he puts his sword in Ganondorf's fucking skull. Link leaves on a boat and goes to a mysterious new land. But before I talk about this new land, I have to talk about the other Ocarina of Time timeline split. If Link dies before he beats Ganondorf, Ganondorf will become so powerful that he will rule the world, thus starting 2 new timelines. Since the timeline is doomed, it becomes Doom Eternal. In the other timeline, another Link is born and he hears about the other Link losing to Ganon, so he builds a time machine and goes back in time to kill him. He also loses. Sorry, Link to the Past fans, I didn't beat the game, so that's just what I assume happened. Later on, guess what? Another Link is born and does nothing because the Oracle games suck ass. Now, here's where things get complicated. After A Link to the Past in the Oracle games, there's no reincarnation of Link because the last few Links all fucking died and the goddess lost hope. So, the Link from Wind Waker ventured to a new land. The land across an entire timeline. This Link awakens from a nap on a beachside after having a dream about an adventure where he was a toy. Eventually, he leaves that island and goes to this world's Hyrule, which is ruled by Ganon. This is where the first Zelda game takes place. Link kills Ganon, but doesn't save Zelda because she was sleeping with another guy. So he sets off on yet another adventure to save her from her evil boyfriend. At the end of the adventure of Link, Link encounters an evil version of himself hiding in the shadows. When it steps into the light, it reveals itself as half of the centipede Link from 4 Swords. Link dispatches of the abomination and has lots of well-deserved sex after saving Zelda. But what happened to the other half of the Link centipede? Well, when the centipede Link was hopping timelines to abduct Links to grow himself further, they got split up and lost in 2 separate eras. The second half ended up during the events of Age of Calamity, where it was swiftly executed by the hero of the wilds. It scared the hero so much that he passed out for 100 years. After waking up from his 100-year nap and saving Hyrule again, this Link decides he's done being a hero, and he decides he wants to join the King of Fighters tournament. He makes it to the final round, and his opponents are a tag team. The hero of the wilds ends up fighting against a team of Wind Waker Link after Zelda 2, and the Link from Doom Eternal. It's a crazy fight, but in the end, they all make friends with each other and both concede from the tournament. So the winner is the runner-up, Goku! And at last, we are caught up. This is the farthest the timeline goes as of writing this video. Nintendo, I hope you know this isn't a very coherent story and my edits made it way better. You should hire better writers. Like me, maybe. I can clearly make a better timeline than you. Anyways, that's all, folks. See you in hell.